Happy afternoon. So, how many of you were at the G20 summit that we did just, I think, 3-4 weeks back? How many of you were there? I think just a few hands. So, I guess the entire institution was not there. So, I came prepared to speak very less. Normally I steal everybody's time, but this time I don't want to steal anybody's time. And also Azhar has another appointment, so he wants to leave in, I guess, less than 20 minutes. But I wanted to engage him in one conversation, for which I have some slides. And see, in fact, almost the last 10 days I have been on the road. I spent almost about 5 days in IIM Shillong. You know, Shillong, very beautiful place. IIM Shillong is also known as the campus in cloud. So it reminded me like, you know, the cloud and AI and things like that. And so for me, it was a big learning exercise being there in the campus, interacting with the students, the faculty, because you have nowhere to go. So we used to, all the days it was mostly spent with the students and some luminaries who came from outside, startups and innovators, as well as industry people, and few startups who were doing work in the tribal segment, okay, among the tribals. So that was last week, and actually, that was last week. And the last week, just before Vijayadashmi, I was part of the AI conference that we did in Bangalore, the first Gen AI conference that we did in India, I would think, in Bangalore. And there also we had some excellent speakers, but mostly they were Indian, I should say. And I think you are extremely lucky to have somebody who is not only a global Indian, but also a global chief technologist like Azhar Saeed. I don't think I have heard any other speech as enlightening, as insightful as somebody like Azhar he talked about in the last 1 hour or so. You're extremely lucky, I would say. In fact, Azhar kind of people, I know so many of them, more in official terms, like, you know, but many people would not want to come and, you know, spend so much time. I really thank Azhar for spending almost more than 24 hours. And he just landed early morning yesterday at 2 a.m. And he's always there to help, you know, India. In fact, let me also tell you some secret. I travel all around the world. I travel to almost about, in the last 30 years, I may have visited about 45 to nearly 50 countries. And everywhere I have some friend or the other, either an ex-colleague or a family friend. In the US, lots of them, okay? I never stay in anybody's house. Not because I don't like their hospitality or whatever it is, but I am by nature, I don't really want to trouble their family life, and you know, that's it. But the only exception I took was staying with Azhar 10 years back in his house. And I thought this was a blessing to stay with him and his family, and his son was playing with robots, who was just, I think, 9 or 10 years old that time. And what struck me was, I mean, in fact, my sister also lives there. And what struck me when I visited his house was 2 flags. In his main, I would say, drawing room, 2 flags, one American flag and an Indian flag. I think, you know, that's the Indian spirit which always lives wherever you are. And I really humbled by that, because many people I see, mostly they are displaying their American flags or British flags or whatever it is. There's nobody as much Indian as he is. In fact, I want to take ownership of him because he's from South India, he's from Hyderabad. So that is something which I'm really proud of. So I have a message for you which is all AI generated. In fact, this is a company, I will talk about that.
Dear friends, as you embark on your spiritual journey, let me impart 3 timeless principles from Vedanta. See the oneness in all diversity, for God resides in everything. Conquer your mind, and you shall conquer the world. Fear not, for you are infinite, immortal, and divinely blessed. Embrace these profound truths and witness the transformation within you.
So this company, Inverse AI, is actually based in Nagpur, in Maharashtra. And they, I think, run a service where you're immortalizing, self-immortalization. So you become a legend, and then after you pass away, you can run this kind of a service, or you can, circulate these kind of your teachings or whatever you learned. It could be a professor or whatever it is. I mean, all of us know in some ways so AI helps you become immortal. Okay, and this, I saw quite a number of videos from this company. They are based in Maharashtra as well as in the US, and they have immortalized quite a number of teachings and speeches and inspiration from people like Neil Armstrong, J.R.D. Tata, so many other people. So I just picked up this one, which is sort of apt for VIPs, and my intention is to build an ecosystem in top-class institutions like VAPS, build an ecosystem with companies like this, because they should not only inspire the youth like you, but also they should give you ideas to generate more innovations, maybe based on this or more such ideas. So that is what I'm going to spend a few minutes around that. Okay. Most of it, in fact, all of it, Azhar has covered in detail. The way he is, as a distinguished global chief technologist, I don't think anybody can do anything better than what Azhar has done. But what I am going to do is just maybe summarize the learnings from my last week's experience with mostly Indian folks who gave a talk at the NASSCOM's AI conference. That will be the next few slides, the summary around that. And I will also talk about what are my thoughts for VIPs. So that's why I made Azhar stay back so that he can contribute to that. But you should, again, you must be lucky. Did you see the hype cycle that Azhar showed? That's like almost like a bell curve or whatever. The hype cycle, how many of you really noticed and, captured the points in the hype cycle? Yes. I think if you look at that hype cycle, I think somewhere, not even at the peak, somewhere slightly below the peak is where AI or Gen AI is. Internet was much below that when me and Azhar, and of course a number of colleagues from my teams, architected the first ever internet network for the country. And he used to be in US, and we used to go all around the country, meeting customers, meeting telecom players like VSNL, BSNL, Tatas, and many customers like Maruti, Konkan Railway, the telcos, IIT Kharagpur. So we used to go around. So he used to be visiting India, though he was always based in Boston. And that is the contribution of Azhar. Why is it relevant? But because you heard from a visionary, and me and Azhar, before we set up this, we said, let us redo this magic for artificial intelligence in India. That is what we thought, and that is our mission here. And we chose two institutions. One is a government institution, IP College. Yesterday we spent some time with the girls of IP College, and I did not think of any better college than VIPS. I think last time I made a statement, Swami Vivekananda set up Indian Institute of Science. You know that? I think I spoke about this in the G20. Yes, right? And I don't see any reason why VIPS cannot be the IISc of New Delhi. It can really be a global, I would think, institution which can make an impact as big as what IISc is doing. It has everything. It has the inspiration. It has the, inspiration from a very inspiring founder, a great team, great set of students, great, fantastic infrastructure. So that's why I said this is the right place to expose Azhar to. And if you see this, this is almost, how many, 25 years back picture. Did you recognize two of us? Huh? Extreme right, and I mentioned this, and Azhar sitting, and this is where, after this launch, we got the deals at VSNL to set up India's first internet network. Okay, so the first mail, it was, I think Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister at that time, the first emails that went on the network happened because of the work that we did. Okay, and in fact, for me also, it was possibly a beginning sitting with such a distinguished set of leaders. Somital, anybody recognize Somital? He is the CEO, he was the CEO of DEC, then he became CEO, president of NASCOM, then my Asia Pacific boss in the center, John Winchester. So this is the contribution that we have made, and Azhar has been part of that, and it continued for quite a number of years until he left my second company, that was Cable Tran Systems, and then he continued in my competing company, that is Cisco Systems. Everybody knows Cisco, right? Yep. So you heard everything that Indians and India can do from a person who has already contributed. So that is something. So let's give him a big round of applause for whatever enlightening thoughts that he has shared now. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I found this. In fact, somebody at the AI conference made a similar quote. You know, only if you have the capability to imagine, you can make the impossible possible. If you can't even imagine, then there is no question of solving any problem. Okay? I found this. I think if you see, history has proven that those who dare to imagine the impossible are the ones who break all human limitations. And I think this is very relevant with I would say, ethical ways of using artificial intelligence. Of course, you can break limitations in the negative sense as well, but I think if you can really imagine how you can solve problems, if you can imagine what India will be 10 years from now, you can break all the inhibitions and make that possible. And I was also blessed, you know, do you know where Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam breathed his last? Do you know where? Huh? Huh? Correct. I was really blessed. I knew that he passed away in Shillong, but his last speech, last breath was at IIM Shillong campus. And I went to that place, really, I mean, a fitting, I would say, I don't know what to say, but a fitting last breath for him in such a place, beautiful place, Abdul Kalam. So there are so many books, Wings of Fire and all, please do read that, okay? So this is actually a summary of what I learned. I think, no doubt, Azhar has gone a lot more into the detail. So generative AI is more about, the focus here is on data, compute and skills. There is no option. You could be just an electrical engineer, or somebody, your alumni could be just an electrical engineer or just a computer engineer who's just passed out a few years back. There is no option, but you have to do reskilling. And so many workers in 10 years, people would have joined today. So 10 years from now, whether they are working in Maruti Udyog or Vodafone or somewhere, no option but to do some reskilling. Because AI is going to, if I may call, hit them. If you don't reskill, I think, God help you. So Gen AI, this is the word that I repeatedly, almost there were about 20 speakers at the last week's conference, in Bengaluru. Almost everybody used this word, democratization of AI. Do you understand the meaning? Democratization means everybody has a say in what AI can do with Gen AI. Okay, this is the word. I found that very simple and fantastic to understand the impact that AI has, which is now possibly, the Gen AI. Innovation through experimentation. We heard, you saw the quote from imagination, experimentation. That's what is important. I always tell the startup founders that solve problems that you have experienced. When you experience any problem, and if you go on a journey to solve that, you are 100%, there's a very good chance, almost 90% plus chance of solving that problem. Okay, so this is a list. I will, the last one is another one which was mentioned. Many companies asked, sir, how can what will be the impact if I don't use AI? So somebody made a very nice statement. How many of you heard of a company called Kodak? Kodak, right? I don't think does it exist at all? Yeah, it went bankrupt some time back. So they said, be prepared to face the Kodak moment, which is like, you'll be gone. You won't see the company, somebody will acquire you as a scrap or, something like that. That's what happened to Kodak. They never went up that, whatever the technology curve, they left it for companies like, even Apple and Sony and everybody else got into digital cameras and they were left. Though I am a wildlife photographer, beautiful pictures came out of those age-old rolls, the camera rolls. Okay. So I mentioned that the last one, but point, Gen AI is in the same phase. So you are not late. Before, just think of the Kodak moment, whether you are a student or as a company or as a startup or as an institution as well. Either you join the bandwagon of a bankrupt organization like Kodak, or you start the journey today. That is what my thinking, and that is what Gen AI today is in the same state Internet was in 1990s, which means, but the evolution, the innovation will happen much faster. Now today we are 30 years, right? 2023, we are 30 years since Internet revolution started. No, sorry, I would say this 1990s, when I mentioned it is 97, 98 is when we launched the Internet in India. So about 25 years. Okay, whereas the same state you will reach much faster with AI. Okay, so I'll come to this. I don't want to go into this because I want Azhar's comment on this. But this video, I think, let me show this video. I don't know, it's not playing. So this is what I thought of in the last couple of days since I, met some, we met some bright students, the girls at Indraprastha College, and then my last 2 weeks learnings at IIM Shillong. IIM Shillong, I met some very distinguished, not just students. There were some speakers, the secretary of entrepreneurship and skill development, he was there. And in fact, I interacted with him, and he wants to, collaborate for AI skills as well. So I don't want to go into the detail, but this is the initial ecosystem with the contacts that I have. I said, let us start small and then make it a big ecosystem around VIPs and maybe the entire Delhi. Why should Bangalore be called the tech capital of India? Even if Delhi doesn't become the tech capital of India or even the number 2 or number 3, VIPS can create its own vibrant ecosystem. That was my thought. And all these companies in some way are connected. Bhashini, how many of you heard of Bhashini? Very simple, fantastic app by the Minister of Electronics and Telecommunication using AI tools. Voice recognition. Simple. You want to book a gas, you talk in English or you talk in Hindi, the gas booking gets, the gas booking happens. You want to communicate with somebody in Tamil, fantastic. They are having something like 21 Indian and some 8 or 9 foreign languages. Bhashini app, and I met the CEO also. So what I have put here is all the connects that happened and who are willing to collaborate. So we need to put together that ecosystem with all these stakeholders. Okay, and the other imaginate is, how many of you heard metaverse? Metaverse, right? So the Vivekananda speech is a sort of a form of metaverse. So this company, Imaginate, in fact, I told Azhar to meet. This is a company they founded in Hyderabad, this company. So they are providing skills to all kinds of people, training on newer skills using metaverse. Let's say Maruti is, releasing models almost every 3 months. How do you train all those technicians or sales people or service people? Not all models are the same. Maybe some parts engine is same, but the cosmetics, the chassis, so many changes are there. So at the pace that they are releasing models, if they want to train, I think these are the best tools that you can use. And still a startup. So in fact, the CEO founder called me in the morning. I told him, I was with him for an entire week in Shillong. He's eager. He said, I also want to tell you, I know I'm looking at the, also want to tell you that I am Shillong. After me and this person were there, they said, we want to introduce a metaverse course in our curriculum for the MBA students. I don't see the reason why VIP should not do this. Yes, we must do this. So they said, why don't Hemant, his name is Hemant Satyanarayana, he willingly said, I will be happy to come here and, at least take the guest lectures, and then the balance can be, delivered by some of the other professors. We should do that here. Okay, so these are some of the companies. Telco Solve, the founder is here. If anybody is coming to IMC tomorrow, the India Mobile tomorrow, he will be there. I have told him also, to be a part of this ecosystem. And then Bhashini, I will ensure that the connect happens. India AI and NASSCOM. NASSCOM has made a beginning in Gen AI with, in fact, they have now whole website or the blog and everything else called NASSCOM.ai. And our friend, I only introduced him, Madhav Bisaji, he's also an advisor here. So me and he together will, create some magic with some global help from Azhar. Okay, so this is I would say, unstructured plan that I put together. We will keep expanding this ecosystem. Okay, also I want to tell you good news or whatever you talk about. My elder daughter is much ahead of me in AI. Okay, she joined a company which is called Crystal.ai, startup. She joined a company called Crystal.ai. It's Singapore-based, Indian founders, it's a fintech company which uses AI tools to structure your investment plans. Not just for individuals, but for high net worth individuals, companies, investment brokers, everybody. And she works in the company. And the beauty here is, she went against my wish. She got 2 offers during the COVID. One was from Deloitte. Deloitte is like a, 100-year-old company or something. And other one was this startup. She came to me and asked, Papa, I got these 2 offers. What do I do? Papa is, 50 plus, not risk-taking kind of a person, especially for daughter. She said, Kirtana, go and join. I told her, Kirtana, go and join Deloitte. So that, for me, I am also safe, right? I don't have to worry about her job if something happens. After 1 week, she came and said, Papa, I have accepted the offer from Crystal.ai. So this is the next generation thinking. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised, almost all of you make a similar decision. Okay? So this is the next generation thinking. We have started on a fantastic note. Okay, Vijay Dashmi, plus so many things that Azhar brings in. I know Azhar, I take the liberty of Azhar, but I know his commitments. I always take very short and crisp advice and then execute this here in India. I've already spoken. By the way, Red Hat, I already had a conversation. The good thing, all the gray hair is the Red Hat CEO is my colleague, ex-colleague. Azhar knows. And the good thing is, NVIDIA CEO is my ex-colleague. Vishal Dupar, Marshall Korea is the Red Hat, already had conversations with them, so we'll bring them all, create an ecosystem, not just for learning, but to solve problems in the country. So there is, I'll tell you what, I think I made a statement which was Amitabh Bachchan's statement last year when I came for the G20. I don't have that here. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a global chief technologist like Azhar. I don't, in fact, yesterday I made a statement, my AI engine doesn't have the deep learning capability also. So I am mostly a person who, creates, uses all these technologies and try, to solve problems, build ecosystems, and also connect people and connect, whatever. I'm a networking person. So with that limitations, if I may say, I'm always a big learner. Every day is a learning. So I want to, really a big dream, make VIPS the next IISc of Delhi. This is what I want to leave on. And if Azhar wants to add any other companies to this, if you have any thoughts, why don't you, just parting thoughts before you leave. So.
I'm absolutely honored to be here and be part of this discussion. And I really thank my friend for a long time. And I mean, he's more than friend, he's just his family. My association with him has been more than 30 years. It's been more than 30 years. So I'm absolutely humbled and I'm absolutely honored. And I really want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you to the chairman. Thank you to the staff. So overall, thank you very much, Udaya.
Thank you. Thank you, Azhar.
I would love to, don't just ping me on LinkedIn. Ping me if you have an idea. Ping me in terms of why you want to connect with me. Just don't say, I want to connect with you, I listen to your lecture. I want to hear from you, what do you have in your mind? Okay? So I look forward to getting all those pings with your idea, with your thinking, why you want to connect. That's what I'll leave you with. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Azhar. So I have a few more slides. As I said, I came prepared to speak as less as possible. But I think, can play हो रहा है slides? हाँ. So पहले से आ जाइए. So I have a few more slides. It's important for me to. So next. Yeah. So just go back to the previous slide. Previous slide. Not this video. Yeah. So. I will, show you a few more slides, which I skipped because Azhar had to leave. How many are you teaching Industry 4.0 in the institution? Okay. So in the next, maybe couple of semesters later, you're going to talk about Industry 4.0. But at the AI conference in Bangalore, people are already talking about Industry 5.0. Okay, which means that AI is going to play a big role in every part of the industrial sectors. And more so, what is happening in India? I mean, I did not, as I said, I sort of cut short my thought process. How many of you are sort of hearing the word of Techade? Do you know the Techade? India's Techade? What is a decade? 10 years, okay. 10 years, my neighbor's 10-year-old daughter also will tell me this. So, but Techade, you go to some of the social media, everybody, all these bureaucrats and in fact now even the innovators, they're all using India's Techade. The next 10 years is going to be a technological revolution in India. And it has started. There is enough proof. We have seen lots of that. I presented that during G20 also. So next 10 years, technology is going to impact every sector. Agriculture to healthcare to aerospace, e-commerce, everything. It has already impacted, but it will go to the next level. What else can it go? It is going to be mostly around AI and Gen AI. So what is the See, I mentioned to you, me and Azhar disrupted the entire network, I would say, infrastructure for the country. From plain and simple, local emails between people. There was some companies like IBM and Digital and HP had emails within us, but there was no connectivity beyond us. There was no internet that time. So we started that, and and now today internet is I see people sitting in the toilet and watching WhatsApp videos. That's the impact it has. Am I right or wrong? Huh? I don't know if you youngsters, but it has impacted every. Huh? So I think you have the liberty of doing it in class, not necessarily in the toilet. So, but I see that it's that that type of an impact the internet revolution has had on human life. Same and much more impact is going to happen with AI. Good or bad, I think Azhar talked about the last slide. It's for you to think. The question mark, ethics, compliance, governance, honesty, integrity, everything comes into that. So which means innovation with human consciousness, especially with AI. So this is, I think you will, so India 2.0, which is the India's Techade, is going to see Industry 5.0, which means impact of AI in everything to do with manufacturing, to e-commerce, to services, to marketing, to everything. Okay, next slide, next slide. So this is real. Okay, look at this video. So many of you either have 3 years to complete your graduation, and some of you will choose masters, which means 3 plus 2, another 5 years. And some of you, even if you don't choose masters, 3 years or 2 years, you will be out looking for a job, or you will be working for a company which will have almost this kind of an environment, which is what I told you, Industry 5.0. And this is an Amazon warehouse. Everything is managed. Amazon is using 40,000 robots in all their logistics centers. And they are doing that even in Bengaluru, which is, they have one of the logistics centers. And of course, right now it is in a pilot stage, but in these days, pilot to reality, it happens within less than a year. Which means you will be, have you heard of bots? How many of you heard of bots? What is it? What does bot mean?
Basically, they send automated messages depending on your answer.
No, but what is a bot? AI what?
Specific AI.
Yeah, so in general terms, bot means a software robot, right? So we are all used to humans as our colleagues. Your colleagues will not necessarily be humans. Your colleagues will be bots. Software robots, as well as some of them will be hardware robots. There will be MBAs, there will be MTech engineers, there will be all kinds of educated people or experienced people or skilled people who will be managing a floor with only robots. Think about this. This is reality. It's not any fairy tale story or whatever, and this is already there in Amazon in one of the logistics centers in US. Okay, so the next slide, please. So Azhar talked about, I think he did not give some of the names of the tools, but these are the tools. I am still primitive. I am just discovering ChatGPT. But I know all of you must be using, how many of you are familiar with some of these tools? The same tools or different brand names? Same. Fantastic. In fact, I regularly, mentor so many startups, and for me it was like a awakening. He had made a beautiful company video, means like a 1-minute video of his company profile. asked him, hey, how? And just one day before he said, sir, my video is not ready. And next day he came for the meeting with the video. I asked him, hey, how did you make it so soon? He said he used one of the AI tools. That's the power of AI, which is used positively. Okay, next slide. So, in many ways, if you see this, I would say the curve, technology curve, right from the last, I would say, the 50, 60 years, AI is not new to India or new to the globe. You see this, in 1997, Deep Blue, which is one of the supercomputers of IBM, defeated Gary Kasparov. Heard of this? How did this happen? Huh? No, but how did this happen? AI, correct. So the AI is not new to India or not new to the world. We are all well versed. But what is happening today is things like Gen AI, which is getting into deeper and more easier or democratization of artificial intelligence that I mentioned. Which means even a common man, see, to use ChatGPT, you don't have to be a computer engineer, right? You can be anything. In fact, you can be just a 12th standard pass to use ChatGPT. That is called democratization of AI. Okay? So this is, as I said, AI is not new to India. And I think in my last presentation at the G20, people have heard of DigiYatra? Huh? How many of you heard DigiYatra? DigiYatra, anybody's experienced? Only ma'am, only sir. DigiYatra, do you know? Anybody knows? No, I don't see any hands at all. DigiYatra is a facial recognition, I would say service or a product or an innovation that has been implemented in about 3 or 4 airports. Okay? You don't need a boarding pass, you don't need a physical paper ticket, you don't even need a mobile phone. How does it happen? Facial recognition. You have to register first with DigiYatra, with giving your facial video image. You just walk through the airport, and then the security doors open for you. DigiYatra. Okay, so it is already there. But what the next level of innovation is going to make a much bigger impact. Okay, next slide, please. And I think there was a survey done. Somebody asked a question, I think Azhar asked a question. Do products and services using AI have more benefits than drawbacks? Can you see the first 3 things? Huh? China, Saudi Arabia, India. The survey said it has more benefits than drawbacks. When bank computerization happened about 25 years back, I was a part of that. We implemented many branch networks. In fact, I have implemented 20,000 branch networks for all the public sector banks. Okay? So they said people will lose jobs, so many things will happen. Nothing happened. So AI also, I think in general, the feeling is it will create more jobs. And reskilling will happen, but there won't be much job loss. Okay, next slide. So I think next slide. So Bhashini, I would urge you to do some research on Bhashini, but this is a summary. So this is connecting people irrespective, it's like what they're calling it, linguistic inclusivity. Irrespective of the language, you're still connected. In Delhi, every South Indian is called a Tamilian. Madrasi hai kya tum bolte hai? I am from Bengaluru. The general feeling is that. So if you think about it, if I meet somebody in the northern region, they start talking in Tamil, I may not understand. I understand Kannada, I understand Marathi, English, Hindi, whatever. So this is Bhashini, a fantastic facility, and they are willing to collaborate so that you can solve some problems across the country just based on this speech recognition. Okay, next slide please. Skilling for AI. Okay, I gave you some flavor of what I met Shri Atul Kumar Tiwari ji, IAS, who's the who's the secretary for Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. They want to collaborate with institutions. They want to collaborate with companies to solve India's problems on how we can skill more number of people, whether it's an engineer or on the rural side or students or whatever it is. So I mentioned already, we need to create that ecosystem where we can solve problems through bright minds like yours. Okay, next. So how many of, anybody from the semiconductor batch or not yet? Ma'am, you are not at, you have the 60 people? But none of them are here. So right now the biggest revolution or biggest, I would say, buzz going on in the industry is the semiconductor strategy that Prime Minister Modi has laid out for India. Right now, India is importing almost about 45 to 50 billion dollars worth of chips from mainly from China and Taiwan and maybe some American companies. And in 5 years from now, that 45 to 50 billion, the way we are growing, is going to go up to 80 billion if we continue. But these companies are going to set up semiconductor plants in India in major cities. So Micron, do you see Micron? In fact, I sent to Vinitji. Micron, the first chip out of Micron, the plant in Ahmedabad, near Ahmedabad in Gujarat, is going to come out next year. So I talked about bots, right? You heard about the bots? Foxconn has something called as the Fox bots, which means they work with a set of robots which are called Fox bots. So India being a greenfield implementation, the same thing is going to come into all the plants that these people are going to set up. Which means you need to be your engineers, the semiconductor engineers, VLS engineers, or even some of the other engineers whose skills will be required in these kind of plants. You need to be prepared for that. Okay, next. I already talked about that. Any other, so maybe I think this is the last, the last but one slide. Yeah, last but one slide. Maybe we can, have some interaction as to what else would you like to see in AI? Any feedback, anything? Can you pass the mic so that we can wrap it up with some, we can note down some feedback and then anything? Anybody wants to, anything that you want to see? Since we could not have a big interaction with Azhar, can you raise your hands, please? Anybody wants to give a feedback, any thoughts on what you would like to see on AI? Ma'am, somebody can note down so that we can. Yes? Any feedback?
Sir, I would like the health system be modernized, I guess, to an extent that doctors don't have to do everything, all of the work, all of the tests that can be happened with AI, that can be done with AI. For example, blood sugar test.
Yes.
Team of 3 to 4 people is like departed for that, and AI can really help in that. They can really tell whether the sugar level is above the margin or not. So I would really like that.
So basically what you're saying is you would like to see big problems in the healthcare sector being solved with AI. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on a project as well.
Fantastic. I think that is something I'll keep in mind. If if that can be mentioned in your feedback form, we will ensure that we include healthcare in the some healthcare projects.
It's a leading department in our whole world, as a matter of fact.
Sorry?
So it's a leading area in our whole world that will always be developing.
Absolutely. Healthcare is, in fact, I would say, lacking in technological advancement, especially in India or in many countries.
It's more of a manual job, so yeah, to some extent.
True. So we will keep that in mind. Okay, healthcare. What else? Any other feedback? Anybody? Yep. So. I'm seeing people raising hands for feedback form, is it, or what is it? Any other feedback you want to give? Okay, I think it's coming to the closure. So thank you very much, and I'm hoping that VIPS will be one of the leading AI ecosystems in the country, because you have all the capabilities, the infrastructure, the support from the management, and everything that is required to make it a vibrant ecosystem. And look forward to engaging with you as we move forward and build this ecosystem. Thank you, and Jai Hind.